What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego back with some more boxing. Now, there's a lot of interesting things coming down the pipeline. I'm going to try to fill you guys in case you haven't heard, and give you some updates and some videos. And I'm off today. Got some work to do and some things that I need to edit. But I'm going to try to keep you guys updated. Like I said, January started off relatively slow. I always got something to talk about. There's always something moving. If you're a true boxing fan, there's always going to be something to talk about. But now some interesting things are coming down the pipeline. Like I said, I'll try to fill you guys in and make these videos, get these videos out. So, Golden Boy Promotions CEO Richard Schaefer said he's looking at putting together a fight with Shawn Porter and Keith Thurman. Now, this excites me. Some people may be wondering why Porter, who upset Devin Alexander, would not be fighting Kell Brook. And this is what Schaefer had to say in regards to that. He said, I think a fight between Porter and Brook will eventually happen. I think Shawn will do one more fight before that. There's a possibility that Porter may face Keith Thurman. That is a possibility that will give us another exciting matchup. I have a good relationship with Kell Brook's manager, Eddie Hearn, and when the time comes, I'm confident that we'll get it made. So, coming from Richard Schaefer, he says before the Kell Brook fight, he's looking to make possibly Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter. And I think that's an excellent matchup. I want to spend some time talking about that. As far as Kell Brook, I like him. He's interesting. He's big for welterweight, always comes in shape. However, I think he needs to fight somebody of notoriety. Fighting the Carsons of the world and Sinchenko, that's cool, but that doesn't excite me. That doesn't prove to me that you're one of the upper echelon welterweights at all. So, similar to, if you come on my channel, man, I try to keep it as real as possible based on what I see. I don't care what you're black, white, green, Puerto Rican, Asian, it don't matter. Fair is fair, and Kell Brook needs to step up. They were talking about a potential fight at one point, I think, with, I think it was Timothy Bradley or something. That fight didn't go through. Then the Devin Alexander fight for 3 times was postponed and or canceled. 2 of them were because of Kell Brook's injuries. 1 because Devin Alexander got an injury. And that's not a good look, because if someone's getting injured twice, to me, that says they don't want to fight in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Unless you just have really fucking bad luck and you're just getting injured, or you're maybe not taking the proper precautions close to the fight. So I think it was more or less Kell Brook, maybe his handlers didn't want the Devin Alexander fight, because if you look at it, Kell Brook has everything to lose fighting Devin Alexander. Devin Alexander being a tricky, slippery style fighter, and that would be Kell Brook's biggest name to date. So if he didn't look convincing, then that would be a bad look for Kell Brook, and a lot of people would throw him back into the background and be like, oh, he was overrated, he was a bum, he was a Euro trash, never fought nobody. So I could see why they didn't want the fight, but this is a boxing. This is supposed to be the best versus the best. And unless you had a crazy run like Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather, and you're a new school welterweight, which is what I call new school, if you weren't fighting when like De La Hoya was fighting, Cotto was fighting when he had hair, to me, you're pretty much new school. So you're part of a newer class, and you have to prove. You have to earn your stripes, just like Pacquiao did, just like Mayweather did, like Cotto did, Martinez, etc. So by not fighting the fights that are going to get you some recognition, it's not a good look for Kell Brook. Moving on, Keith Thurman versus Shawn Porter. I want to see this fight. Interesting matchup. You got 2 punchers. You got 2 people who find a way to win so far in their career. They found a way to win, and it's an interesting style matchup. Keith Thurman, we know he has vicious power. He showed me a lot. When he first came on the scene, I liked him. I always liked Keith Thurman, but I seen a lot of flaws in his game. He was kind of reckless, and he was trying so hard to stay true, in my opinion, to being Mr. One Time, where I felt he was searching and looking for the knockout, which is bad business in the sport of boxing, because contrary to a lot of people's belief, a lot of people are like, oh, Mayweather's fighting hand-picked opponents or whatever the situation is. But realistically, these guys aren't coming in to lose. If they get more recognition and bigger paydays by beating Mayweather than they will to lose to him. So it's boxing. You lace them up, I give you respect. But I don't think these people are coming to lose. Anyway, with Keith Thurman, I just found out I felt like he was rushing a little bit, trying to force a KO, and that's not a good look. And in the fight with Zibik, Jan, he showed me something. He went the distance, and that was a good like evolution fight to me for Keith Thurman, because at the end of the day, you can have the most power in the world, but there are some guys who can just take punishment. They aren't going to get knocked out for whatever reason. God just blessed them with the chin from out of this world, but you can't knock them out. So it's important for young fighters who have power to realize that you can't just hurt everybody in the first 2, 3 rounds. You can have 19 out of 20 of your knockouts come in the first round, but that's not going to happen with everybody. So for the Mike Tysons of the world, Gennady Golovkins, the Keith Thurmans, these people with this monstrous power, you need to know that the power is not everything. Sometimes people are going to make you work for it, and it's going to take work to get them out, and you might not even be able to get them out of there. Lucas Matisse learned that. Danny Garcia has a hell of a chin, and this is what I told people when I predicted. I like Lucas Matisse a lot, don't get me wrong. Never shitted on the dude. Thought he beat Devin Alexander and was robbed in that. The fight with Zab Judah could have went either way. I just speak to it like I see it and give it to you real. And as far as Lucas Matisse, the reason I picked Danny Garcia to beat is because I had seen him face more adversity. I had seen him have to hold on in the just hold on, we're going home. I seen that. That was so unnecessary. But I seen that happen in the Danny Garcia versus Zab Judah, where in the championship rounds, which are going to be the telling of all tales, if you can hang out and hang on in the championship rounds, to me, you have tremendous heart. Zab Judah really tested him in those last 3 rounds. And Zab Judah is a veteran with power. He's a southpaw, and he came on strong. So seeing Danny Garcia battle that adversity was huge. Same thing with Danny Garcia in the Amir Khan fight. Amir Khan was piecing him up and looking good early on in that fight. So he had to weather that early storm. He got a cut early. Amir's speed was too much for him at first. He had to buckle down or bite down and come out with another game plan and get his timing right, and the rest is history. He was able to upset Amir Khan. To me, that's huge. And when fighters don't have that same journey, it's kind of hard to know what they will do in that situation. So for Lucas Matisse, for the most part, he was steamrolling through people. And the people he didn't steamroll were his losses, and that was to Devin Alexander, right or wrong, and the loss to Zab Judah. But a lot of the other people, like the Jose has a hell of a chin and didn't get knocked out per se, but I don't really remember scoring any rounds for him decisively. It was really the Lucas Matisse show. Humberto Soto, he had looked good in spots, but he didn't really pose too much of a threat. And Lucas Matisse started to break away from Humberto Soto. So it's not all about power. And that brings me back to Keith Thurman. It's good, and I've seen a definite evolution. Same thing with Keith Thurman versus Diego Chavez. He had to weather that storm because Chavez came to win. Chavez was undefeated. He was Paulie Malignaggi's mandatory. That fight was skipped over so Paulie could face and lose to Adrian Broner. And Diego Chavez had to then go against Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman showed me a lot in that fight. He showed more resilience, more patience, the ability to adapt to a degree. Like I said, it takes more than one occurrence, more than one experience for me to just say, oh, he has the ability to adapt. But in that particular fight, he showed me that. So the only way he's going to prove to me that he can adapt is to keep fighting the best, keep fighting tough competition, people that make him reach and maybe go out of his comfort zone. And then you look at Shawn Porter, he has the ability to do that. He has the ability to do just that. Shawn Porter is a fighter who will make you uncomfortable. He's a big dude, even though he's not that tall. Packs a punch. He at times can be reckless as well, but he has the will to win, and he's been doing it. He has an amateur pedigree. If you watch Dante's Boxing Nation, he did an interview with Kenny Porter, Shawn Porter, and he had 78 Sports TV as a special guest. Watch that. It's great. They'll show you a lot about Shawn Porter and his background. The dude is big. Like, he was fighting at a much higher weight than what we see him fight at today. So, he could take a licking. He's naturally big. I seen pictures where Shawn Porter might have been like 18. I'll try to find it and slap it on this video if I can find it. But the motherfucker looked big. He has that pit bull kind of build, like stocky, thick neck. Some fighters are just big, like Canelo, another person, just thick neck, really massive and like just solid, like size-wise. So it'd be a very good fight for Shawn Porter and Keith Thurman. And I'd be anxious to see what both of them look like in that fight. And it'll be very telling. I was looking forward to Shawn Porter versus Marcos Maidana, another good fight, but Maidana may be facing Adrian Broner because Broner has exercised a rematch clause. So in lieu of that, I think this is a hell of a fight. Keith Thurman, Shawn Porter, and you can't say nobody's ducking if you know what I mean. If this fight is made, they're two hungry champions, and they both have credible wins in their last fight. Keith Thurman against Soto Caras, and then Shawn Porter with the Devin Alexander upset. So I don't even know who I would predict. I would have to probably go back, watch some tape. That's the caliber of this type of fight. Kenny Porter, I've seen him on some interviews. He has a lot of confidence in his son and his game plan, and he says he'll rough anybody up, and nobody's basically going to stop him at 147. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm not his dad. I just don't think there's anyone that's invincible. Like Lucas Matisse, I didn't know he would get knocked down by Danny Garcia, but shit, it happens. It's boxing. James Kirkland, I never thought he would get knocked out by a light puncher like Ashita, but hey, it happened. So I wouldn't go that far as saying nobody can stop him at 147. I think both fighters have the ability to be stopped in that fight. It's a dangerous fight. Like I said, Shawn Porter can make it excruciating and very uncomfortable. Keith Thurman is showing us more in his tool shed, more poise, the ability to adapt, and he has power too. So let me know what you guys think of this matchup. Do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? Richard Schaefer sounds like he wants to see it, that fight. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.